Yay! Once upon a time, well, not that long ago, the OCM team went on a fancy hunting trip, and they didn't even think about inviting me.
That was fun.
And 7 birds come in, they gobbled hard this morning.
Down through the states they went. First, Pennsylvania. Of course, had to stop at Cabela's. The boys had to stare and get excited about all the animals, talking about the kinds they would see in South Carolina. Hope they are ready for disappointment. They got real excited about the fish. At least they got plenty of pictures. Back on the road. Time to take a break and good old West Virginia. Had a nice meal, a couple of drinks, gross, and played some pool. Virginia, North Carolina, finally South Carolina. As they pulled up, they were all excited.
No, that's how we're gonna go drag our animals back, probably.
Hunter parking.
Hunter parking. Alright. $1963, huh? Vermont. I bet he's old.
I was gonna say we're here.
Well, we finally made it to the place. Let's go check in and see what we do.
We're here! Happy hunting!
Hey guys, well, we made it here to South Carolina Trophy Hunters. 2 days of traveling, 8 hours a day, but we made it. This is mine and Tigger's room. As you can see, we have beautiful mounts, beautiful paintings, prints, whatever you want to call them. And look, a squirrel. But this is our room. The producer has a room built for a woman, I would have to say. It's got everything she needs, including her own personal bathroom. So girls, don't be afraid to hunt down here either. But yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. We're here for a week, so we'll catch you guys later. And thanks for watching.
The lodge was a log cabin style with many beautiful mounts decorating the walls. Spacious open floor design with plenty of open space for all the hunters, along with modern technology.
Well, good morning, guys. First day of our deer season, or a week down here in South Carolina. It's about 7 in the morning. I just saw a doe out there. Does are off limits, but that's at least they're moving and I'm seeing something, so let's just hope a buck is hot on her or something.
Howdy, this is Tig with OCM, and I'm proud to say that we are live from South Carolina.
Alright guys, so we're out. First day, South Carolina, evening hunt. hopefully this works out. I'm stoked. I think the deer down here might be a little different than up north. Where up north, we wait for cold weather, deer come in. Down here, I think it may be we need a little warmer weather for the deer to come in, and that's what we have today. This evening, we got like 63, 65 degrees, depending on where you're sitting. I think it's going to be golden today. I really do. So, I'll see you guys when it comes time. Welcome back, guys. Well, we're here. Day 2. The evening hunt here in the tower stand in South Carolina. As you guys will be able to see, I'm sitting in the power lines again. It's a nice area. Our guide was telling us that we have a nice 10-point here and a cool looking 8-point with twisted brows. That'd be cool to get.
Here's my blind for the day.
Alright guys, so we're out here tonight. It's the 3rd day. We're in the evening hunt now. I saw some pig scat on the way out this morning. Some fresh pig tracks. So hopefully tonight works out a little better in my favor and they come on through and come down yonder and everything will work out.
Tig here. Doing a little recap over the past few days down here in South Carolina. Our first day we had pretty good activity. Everybody had a little bit of something going on. I scared a couple as I went in, getting set up for whatnot. Glove falls down the ladder, you know, typical whatever. And day 2, dead is dead. Producer got to see one. Nice little spike horn. You'll see it in the video. Day 3, that came and went as well. No activity.
Number 3. It just climbed up my gun. Oh my god, I lost it. It's above my head, man. Help. It's above my head. Do I even have it on? There it is. Help. Oh my god, it's over me. Oh my god, it's still above me, and that one's there. It's already behind me. Stay. No! And that there is my blind for today.
And this is day 4 drawn to a close. This is the last hunt of the day here. Again, I'm sitting in the stand I was on the first day. I was hoping to have a good morning, but I had 2 more and got scared. I don't know what happened this morning. It wasn't my fault. They were about 160 yards behind me. And then, gonna try it again tonight. Coyote seen a armadillo this morning. That was kind of neat. Producer got attacked by lizards the other day. And that's pretty much what we got going on. We come to South Carolina to hunt the heat. Definitely a challenge. Then again, it wouldn't be hunting, and it wouldn't be a challenge if it wasn't hunting. Stay tuned for more.
So we tried to go up there, but it seems like sometime in the past here, this blind has blown over, and well, that's not good for almost 300 pounds of weight up there. That's not including the producer's weight, so that didn't happen. So instead, now we're standing on the ground in this heat.
In December.
In South Carolina, trying to see if we can convince a pig to come in
Just doing a shit ton of glassing. The last day, the last hunt.
Well, we're almost back. Well, technically we're in New York again, guys. We're almost back to the homes. And, well, South Carolina was fun. Good food, good people. But, be damned, we got skunked. Apparently when we made the reservations, we didn't ask the right questions because apparently their peak season for whitetail is the second week of October, and their peak season for hog is sometime between the ending of January and the middle of February. But yet they still accept reservations down there because there is a chance that you could shoot something. In the 5 days we were there, one person shot at one thing, and well, even though the dude was using a 45-70, apparently he did nothing more than severely wound the animal, but not anywhere near where it would actually kill the animal.
Yeah, that said animal was tracked over 500 yards, followed through the swamp. No, it wasn't me, of course. I just dropped it. Seen a buck. Producer seen a buck. Otherwise, that was about it. They were non-shooters. Had plenty of activity, just not really quite enough to really say that it was good hunting. It was okay hunting.
But hospitality was good, right?
Food was good. The ladies were very nice to us. Our guide was very nice to us, except for when he got us pulled over. But no, all in all, it was a good vacation. I wish that we would have been put in a situation where we had animals put in front of us. I didn't like the fact that we were rotated over and over and over every day to different stands. I think it would have been better if we would have been sat at one location pretty much, unless we asked to be moved. And I also didn't like the fact that, in my opinion, we went to the best spot for probably where you'd see the most activity on the very last day.
I have to agree on that.
Most of the time we were put in spots where we had a 100-yard shooting lane in front of us and a 50-yard shooting lane to the left or to the right of us, and that was it. Besides that, the forest was so thick you couldn't see anything. I also didn't like the fact that I didn't get to say what time I wanted to go out hunting, which, okay, I get it, guides know better. But at the same point, after you sit there for 3 days in a row, and you walk in the morning, you don't see any tracks. You walk out in the morning when you go back for lunch, you don't see any tracks. But then you come back from lunch and it's just after he went out, re-corned the corn piles because you can corn them there. All of a sudden now you're seeing tracks out the asshole, but then you don't see any animals because I personally believe the animals had patterned the guides in their graining or their corning schedule. I really do. Because they weren't showing up, and the only ones that we did see were ones that were non-shooters, considering the packages that we had bought originally had all of a sudden changed to a trophy hunter package when we got down there, which limited us. We were also told that we could use our bows, and then when we got down there was no way we were going to be able to use our bow. Because the animals were coming into the corn piles were over 100 or more yards away from where you were at most of these stands they put us in. And I wasn't completely impressed with their stand setup. I'm a picky person, I guess, but when I read your reviews or when you say you're going to give us and you say that you have over 150 comfortable stands, I don't expect to go sit in a stand on a goddamn metal chair or on an office chair that has wheels on it, so that every time I move my ass or lean forward or lean back to look around the area, that it fucking makes a big ass noise. I also don't like the fact of being dropped off by the side of the road and go into there about 300 yards and take a left and take a right and then follow the ribbon trail and you'll get there.
Good area, nice country, great people, great food.
Cheap liquor.
Yeah, You want to get drunk, go to South Carolina. Just don't expect to go to a liquor store. You got to look for 3 red dots, and it's a
called
package store.
Package store. You don't expect to find anything but a Dollar General or Dollar Tree. Maybe a Family Dollar. But no, the best thing about that down there, I'd have to say, is taking a trip with these 2 people and the food. Was it worth the $2,500 for that? Not a chance in the world. The time with these 2 people, maybe. But that wasn't no $2,500 worth of food, in my opinion. It's not like I was getting served filet mignon. I was getting served home-style cooking. You know, it wasn't like, oh, you know, for dinner we're having filet mignon. Our last meal, the most expensive meal while we were there is they had a seafood dinner on Friday night, and it had shrimp and mussels. I'll give you this. Wanda can make one hell of a fucking peach cobbler. Londa, sorry, not Wanda, but Londa. Awesome peach cobbler, Londa. Awesome.
So I would actually say, while I got skunked between the food, the people, not so much the other hunters we were with, but our guides that were available to talk to, the cooks, and all in all, overall, it was a great time. They definitely did try their asses off to make us happy.
You know, all in all, the only big issue we had with the whole entire hunt was just the fact that the only animals that we saw were the animals we were told that we weren't allowed to shoot. That and the whole fact that they had call animals that they never bothered to tell us about to begin with. It wasn't until another hunter group that was there that had saw the animal and didn't know they could shoot it either, and then told them that they could have shot the animal. And of course, you never see that animal again.
It's the questions. If you don't ask the questions, you're not going to get the answers. So, when they asked us when we arrived in, if we had any questions on like what the trophy status was and so on and so forth, because it had to be an 8-point or larger and out between the ears, but it could have been a 7 as long as it was outside of the ears, or even as low as a 5, but it had to prove to be a big, mature animal. Well, the fact of the call box is, if you don't ask the question if there is any call box, they're not going to tell you that there is. So you have to kind of figure that one out on your own. So again, it's all about questioning. I think the most uncomfortable thing that I have to say about it, I couldn't sit, walk. I like to know my area. I don't like to be told, go here, stay here, don't move. That is kind of a hard one to choke on.
Yeah, you couldn't even go look at the corn pile to tell if there was any activity in the area recently. Even though, you know, at the end of the day hunt, or the end of the morning hunt, you couldn't even walk up and check it to see if there had been any activity that morning at all, let alone over the night. That and the fact that sometimes when they said they put out fresh corn, they didn't. No, my honest opinion is that it's a decent place to go if you go during the right time of the year, I'm guessing. Besides that, I wouldn't waste your goddamn money, not a single red cent. That, you know, it's too pricey for what you did this time of year. Now, in the middle of the rut, in the middle of everything like that, awesome. We in the whole time that we were there, we watched one boar actually come into their shop. And while we were there, there was us 3, 4 other guys, that's 7, and then 10, 14. So in 5 days that we were there with 14 hunters hunting 10 hours per day, so that's 140 hours a day, and at least 10 different stands, 14 different stands, one animal had actually been killed and brought to be butchered. Now, 2 of them should have been. That's still, in my opinion, not that quite successful of a guide service. Considering the fact you pay all that money, I expect to see animals. I also don't expect to be limited to what animal I can take. Our producer hasn't ever shot an animal yet. So I don't see why she couldn't have been told that she could shoot whatever she wanted to for her first animal of her entire hunting career. Same thing I would do on my own personal property. I'm going to limit myself to a bigger animal, but she's never shot a deer at all. So why wouldn't anybody comes on my property and has a shit on the animal, if it comes out in front of you and it's going to make you happy, take it. That's what the hunting is about. It's not about what somebody else thinks about your harvest, but what makes your heart and your blood pump. If that spike walks out in front of you and makes your soul jump right out of your mouth and have to make you swallow it back in and not scare it away, shoot that animal.
The only thing I would have to disagree with on that part of it is as long as it doesn't have spots.
Well, obviously.
That's it. Because there are a lot of guys out there that they believe that as long as it's got spots, that is the best tasting meat, and they will shoot it, and that's what they intend on shooting, and that's what they always shoot. I know several guys that are that way, and I really don't approve.
I've said on camera before, you don't shoot babies.
So
it's got spots, it's a baby. It's a yearling, I don't want you to take it either. The only person you have to justify your hunt with at the end of the day is yourself. Point blank and simple. As long as it's a legal take and it made you happy, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Nobody else has the right to come to tell you that 6 point that you shot wasn't a good enough deer. Because if you would have let it grow 3 more years, it could have. That's right, it could have. Or somebody else could have got it the next day or an hour later.
yeah, but let's not forget you didn't get completely skunked. You did see an armadillo.
Didn't see an armadillo. And I saw a doe the first day. And I had a South Carolina doe tag that they told me to buy and then refused to let us use them. Most of their stands were adequate stands. I'll give them that. But I was sent to 2 stands that were not safe. And I can tell you right now, they don't work on all of their feeders. 140 yards out, I think when I ranged it, never turned on. But like I said, I mean, if you go down during the peak times, it might be a lot better. I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more people there. And it was pretty packed as it was. And not a single person there was even asked to wear a mask. Which is, we all their opinions. We've already done this whole discussion about COVID and shit on our own time. I'm not going to get into it on camera. But the same simple safety fact of it all is that they had 14 men from 4 different states in one place, and that almost at no given time were we really 6 feet apart.
No, that's very true.
And considering that they made us stand in line and eat like we were at a goddamn cafeteria. I'm sorry, when I hear home cooking, I don't know about the rest of you, when I'm at home and my wife cooks, my food's on a plate and I either go into the kitchen and get it or she brings it to me. If I'm at a restaurant and I'm paying for it, I'm not going to go to the kitchen, scoop it out of a fucking dish onto my own plate and then go sit down. I expect the waiter or the kitchen staff to bring me my food. Like I said, I think we paid way too much for way too little.
I do agree on that. 100%. We did pay too much for what we ended up with.
Now, it's not downing.
But we can really suck it up as is. It's a learning curve.
Yep. And I don't mean to down Londa and her cooking skills. She cooks like a champ. Like Tigger said, it's a learning curve. And all I can say is don't ever believe the hype on a guide service's webpage alone. Do as much research you can do. Spend a week doing nothing but research on reviews. Take a piece of paper. Every time you read a bad review that's a bad review in your opinion, put a check mark here. Every time it's a good review in your opinion, check it over here. When you're done reviewing it for a week, then all the possible things you could find, compare it there to your, like that, and then compare it to yourself. Is that worth it? Is it, 80% bad, 20% good? There was reviews I read once I got down there that I wish that I would have saw, but there's no way I could have seen because we had paid our down payment down in like February, and the reviews coming in from October of this year were horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Now, they also have a policy where they do not give refunds. They only reschedule, which is another thing that I found kind of bullshit, especially in this day and age of COVID. Because no offense, you got a hunt down there, and you got sick, and you died. Now those guys just made fucking 12 grand off of you, or $1,200 off of you, and you can't reschedule. You're dead. The other thing, you know, like we said before, the fact that they asked for your money up front when you got there, and then after you paid them is when they did the rules and regulations with you. So now they've already got your $2,400 all together, and there's no refunds at that point. So now you're screwed. Now you're stuck doing this. When I tell you that if you shoot any deer that's not deemed a trophy, it's $750 extra on top of what you already paid. If there's two pigs standing side by side, and you shoot, and somehow or another you shoot both pigs, that's an extra $250 for the second pig. Even though you were told you could get 6 pigs.
Right.
Because you're only allowed to get 1 pig per set. $1 per day. Now the $1 per day is a South Carolina rule. I read that. But the 1 pig per set is not. And like we discussed down there, all the bucks we had seen, they basically showed us 5 shooter bucks within their 12,000 acres. That's a lot of room to try to cover to catch 5 deer. As Tigger said, and I already said, do your job and just do your research on it. And, you know, sometimes these ones you see that are $2,500, which is a cheap set for a guide, you know, breaks down to the whole thing. You might pay what you paid. You might get what you paid for. I think the next time we do anything like that, we're just gonna go and get shoved in a, you know, out in a truck and drove out in the middle of nowhere, dropped off to be on our own for a couple of days. That way I can hunt the way I want to hunt. But that's all I gotta say. So that's a wrap up for South Carolina. I hope you guys liked what footage we can get. It's a beautiful state, I'll give it that. You know, the staff was excellent. I wish that they wouldn't. They would have been more forthcoming with some information instead of making us pry it out of them. And I wish they were one of these places that when they had the capability of thermal scopes like they had, that on at least your second to last day and you haven't got anything, they would just go ahead and take you out with the thermal scope and at least get you a hog. There's my rant and my little temper tantrum for this episode because I'm severely perturbed, but it is what it is. It was a learning curve. We went and hunted a new area. You're not guaranteed anything because it's hunting, but I would have at least liked to seen something besides the head of a doe that I wasn't allowed to shoot. So, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Leave your comments. And as always, guys, happy hunting. See you next time.
That's a wrap. Have a good one, guys.
And that's our story for today. Probably would have been better if they invited me. Sucks to be them.
Don't forget to stop by Worthington's for all your firearms and ammunition needs. When you stop by, mention Outdoors with the Common Man, and receive a 5% discount off in your order. Thank you.
What you said you were gonna do? That was fun.
That was fun.
No, wait, I didn't. Ready? Asshole. 3, 2.
Well, that sure sounds like fun.
You say so.